Welcome back to OBTV, the place for news, reviews and the trends from the promotional merchandise industry. Today we're joined by Ryan Brown from the Umbrella Company to talk everything umbrella. It's a great time of year. Today, funnily enough, the sun's shining and unfortunately we've not got no rain, but I've prepared some of that earlier. We're going to go through 4 of the most popular umbrellas in the industry at the moment. Welcome Ryan, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Ryan, tell us a little bit about yourself and the Umbrella Company.
Myself, Ryan Brown, been in promotional merchandise industry now 3.5 years. Joined the Umbrella Company under the guidance of Sean Hassig, who I'm sure you know very well.
A little bit.
We started producing promotional umbrellas in the year 2000, founded on April Fool's Day, so no jokes please. But yeah, so it just means that we've been doing it quite a long time now, just working on quick lead times, and because we've got over 55 sort of skilled workers within the sewing department, dye sublimation department, screen print department, it just means that we can turn around quick lead times, short minimum order quantities, and because we are the largest UK manufacturer of promotional umbrellas.
Brilliant, brilliant. Well, thank you for joining us. It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
The Umbrella Company again is one of our preferred suppliers. Sean is a great lad, and the team now that have taken over the Umbrella Company have got the same passion and enthusiasm for umbrellas that Sean started the company with. So without further ado, let's look at some of the umbrellas.
Yeah, let's go. Well, basically the first one is a brand new idea which we've basically been able to produce ourselves in the UK. We're actually the first manufacturer of umbrellas outside of China that can now do this particular concept.
Right.
What this means is that we can now produce vented umbrellas in the UK.
Right.
So what that means is now we can offer all over dye sublimation print, along with plus 50 different stock panel colours on different designs. A lot of our umbrellas, because they are produced in the UK, means that we can do, like I mentioned earlier, shorter lead times and smaller quantities, but we can also cater for the larger quantities as well. Most of our products are stormproof. Now it's not that stormy out here and it's not raining, but to give you an idea on the actual solidarity of a lot of our umbrellas, it just means that if the umbrella was to blow inside out, it can then come back to its standard shape. Right. But what this vented umbrella does do is it's actually got the vents in the canopy, so it allows the wind to escape from the umbrella, so it makes it harder for it to blow inside out.
Brilliant. And something that's really important here is, you know, from Sourcing City Marketplace's trends for 2017, we were talking about full colour process and digital printing, about being a trend. And again, I think this umbrella shows that you don't have to have a black umbrella with a one colour print. A bit like what we were saying with pens, tech, confectionery. We can get creative and get really exciting, vibrant colours. Why does it have to be grey and dull when it's raining? It doesn't. So brilliant, excellent.
I mean, the good thing about an umbrella as well, you've just mentioned pens. Now, I think everybody seems to be having a go at pens, nothing against pens, but obviously a pen is sort of the impression of a pen, approximately 3,000 people can see that within a space of its lifetime. An umbrella, if you were to take a 5-minute walk, 10-minute walk around London, because of the print area that we can offer, the amount of sort of impressions that it can get within an hour, you're talking 1,000 people who can see it. Wow. So the brand recognition of an actual umbrella is second to none in the promotional merchandise industry.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Ryan. What next? That's a dull style. What else have we got?
The next one is telescopic sizes. Now the thing is with a lot of telescopic sizes is they blow inside out and then they break. Again, the same as the golf ones, what we've managed to actually incorporate is telescopic umbrellas that fold down to that small handbag size, but at the same time can blow inside out.
Okay.
So it just gives that extra stability on the actual ribs that allows it to do that. Now obviously I'm showing an umbrella that blows inside out, they don't always do that, but the good thing about an umbrella is if it does blow inside out, can the ribs take it to come back into its standard shape?
And I think you've all seen, you know, walking around whichever city you're in, side of the road, the mangled old little telescopic umbrella that's been left to go to the umbrella heaven in the sky, and this stops that, gives it longevity.
It does, yeah, it gives it that longer lead time, longevity. The print areas we're sort of slightly more limited to what we can do in the UK on print areas, so we can still fit obviously a larger print area than say a promotional golf ball, and especially with my golf ball it'd be in the tree somewhere or something like that, but because it's a telescopic umbrella, a city umbrella, even though we can't print as big a print area as what we can in our golf umbrellas, you've still got a good brand recognition to get out there for a promotional umbrella, as well as little differences like printed decals, printed tie straps. There's all different extras that we can do on any of our umbrellas as well.
So again, going to the other end of the spectrum, I said, you know, you don't have to have a boring one colour print. Sometimes, you know, if you're a traditional company or your brand wants to be a bit more subtle, to have things like the decal on the end opposed to actually branding on it gives a nice impact. The other great thing with these is the sleeves that they come in, they can also be branded as well. So you don't have to have the canopies and the panels branded. Brilliant. What else?
A few different new concepts, basically. We've brought a bottle of water with us.
Told you I made some rain.
Now the reason being is because usually approximately it rains 135 times a year in the UK.
135 times.
So
feels like 270.
It does, it really does. But with that case, that's the reason why promotional umbrella will always have a place in promotional merchandise. Now with this particular one,
so you just stop there. Something we talk about in the promotional merchandise industry is nice action. Listen to this. That's a lovely action. Auto opening as well.
Is.
Sorry.
And again, like I mentioned, auto opening, rubber crooked handles, but there's also concepts that we can do for branding the umbrella. So instead of the dye sublimation print or standard screen colour printing, what we can also do is our magic print. Now the magic print works by actually the base colour being printed onto the umbrella and then white, which is the most transparent colour, printed on top.
Right.
So what that means is as the umbrella gets wet, you can see that it starts to change colour. So if anybody out there wants something which is a bit different, that stands out from the crowd, that particular one started off all white, quoting Michael Barrymore, but now it shows the rainbow straight across there. And what a customer can do is either have that particular design or have their particular design, what would start off in white and then change the colour when wet.
And that's really cool. Do you know what I mean? Again, talking about brightening things up, bringing colour to life. And we've just done this for a client, and their logos are 4 primary colours, and each of the 4 panels, there's generally 8 panels in an umbrella. Each of the 4 panels has the logo in white. As soon as the water hits, each of those panels are 4 different colours, and they love it. It's brought an umbrella to life.
Definitely, and it's just something again a bit different away from the standard dye sublimation print and the screen print.
And also it stays colourful for a while, doesn't it?
It does, yeah, it definitely does. And then when it dries, it goes back to white, and then you start again.
Brilliant.
Basically when it rains.
Love it.
Finally, just to show something again which is a bit out there and not just sort of your standard umbrellas, there's this new concept which is basically an electronic opening. Now I know DT were down here a few weeks ago showing all the gadgets and things off. Yeah. Umbrellas doesn't stop with those either. So basically what we've got is umbrella blowing all over.
That's what happens in the...
You see it didn't break though.
Didn't break, didn't turn inside out.
There you go, you see. So with this particular umbrella, it's actually automatic, open and close.
For the lazy people out there.
Exactly, or for anybody that's sort of got one hand full with the phone or bags, carrying bags, want to open an umbrella, starts raining, you can do all that with one hand.
Brilliant.
It comes standard with a charger, so you actually charge your umbrella up as well as your laptop and your phone.
And you don't even have to put it down either, it actually closes it for you as well.
Definitely.
You can see that, but you've got a little control panel here, you press it downwards and it closes, you press it up and there you've got an electronic umbrella. Brilliant.
I mean, one of the questions I get asked about more than any other is if the battery runs out, can you open and close it? Because obviously you don't want to be stuck without a battery, but it is got a manual override as well.
Right.
Because of the coating on the inside, it is UV protected. So it just means that obviously the sun shining down, it is UV protected as well. Right. Can open and close approximately 150 times. I don't know who's counted that, but it approximately opens and closes 150 times before the battery runs out.
Right. Excellent. Well, thank you very much for that, Ryan. Something that I ask everyone that comes on OBTV is, most people again can see some of the advancements. Where do you see umbrellas going in 2017?
2017, I mean, there's the new concepts. I mean, there's new items which we brought out, which is our Pro Sport Deluxe umbrella, which is a 16mm shaft, spring-loaded tip cup. So there's a few sort of new differences on that side of things. Like I mentioned earlier, with the vented umbrellas, we're the first ones in the whole of Europe to be able to produce things like that. And now, obviously, from the ones which have got electronic opening. So obviously, we can't foresee the future, but as the time goes on, I'm sure there'll be loads of different things that we can do with umbrellas. But it just all comes back to the brand recognition that an umbrella can offer, and the amount of people that would see a promotional umbrella in the city centre is sort of second to none. It's sort of a walking billboard, we could say.
Excellent. And also something that people probably would want to ask. You know, umbrellas are generally perceived as a winter type promotion. What does the umbrella company do in the summer? Do you all just go and lie on a beach somewhere and take it easy?
If only it were that easy. No, we've got a wide range of parasols. So pub garden parasols, obviously there's the standard ones, there's big 3-metre ones. There's also gazebos for summer events and things like that. But we're in UK, it always rains all year round, so summer's not that much of a bad problem for us.
But again, just great to know, you know, again for events, things like gazebos, parasols, they can all be done to the very, very high standards that the umbrella company deliver upon. So thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
We decided to come out and about today to show you umbrellas. We thought it was only right. We didn't think a lot of people have superstitions, but when you've been in the promotional merchandise industry long enough, you don't mind opening umbrellas indoors. But we thought we'd come out and about. Thank you very, very much. It's a real pleasure. And hopefully you've enjoyed it. Any questions, again, do get in touch and let us know anything that you'd like to see more of, or any comments you've got for the next episode. But thank you, Ryan, and see you very, very soon.